Welcome to Manifesting Mondays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday and Friday. I'm here teaching about the laws of the universe, how to use the laws of mind, manifesting your greatest life. I'm going to be doing a course that I'm really excited about. It's my first course that I've ever done. It's going to be a 6-week course. I'm not sure which day it's going to be yet, but the website's finally finished. It's under nourishmysoulretreats.org/nourishmymind. So you can look at the pricing. We're going to be doing $100 off for the next 2 weeks, I believe. And it's going to be really fun. And it's going to be really expansive for our minds. It's going to be amazing for us to do together, so that we're on this journey together of manifestation. So if you want to do that 6-week course, you can go again to nourishmysoulretreats.org/nourishmymind. And I want to talk about today how to utilize your magnetic energy. And what I call that magnetic energy, I recently was talking to somebody about this, was the Marilyn Monroe energy. And I want to tell you a story about the Marilyn Monroe energy. When Marilyn Monroe was on a trip to New York, and there's a reel that I'm going to do probably later today about this. When she was in New York one day, she was with one of her friends that she worked with. And she was walking down the street. Nobody recognized her. She was just being, her regular normal self walking down the street. And she said, I love to come to New York because people don't even recognize me. And then she said something along the lines of, watch this. And she transformed herself from Norma Jean to Marilyn Monroe. That energy, the Marilyn Monroe energy, is something within ourselves. It's something that we can literally turn on to change the trajectory of our day and of our life. So Marilyn Monroe said, basically watch this. She turned on that movie star energy, and all of a sudden people started to recognize her on the street. Oh my God, are you Marilyn Monroe? And the person that was with her that was telling the story said it was the most subtle thing, but I saw something in her that she turned on to become Marilyn Monroe. To go from Norma Jean to Marilyn Monroe, and all of a sudden people were swarming around her and saying, oh my God, I want your autograph and things like that, because they recognized Marilyn Monroe. That is an energy. That is the it energy that we all have the ability to turn on in our body, in our mind, to become the superstar of our life. Every single one of us has the power to be the superstar of our own reality. And every one of us should be. If you're not the star of your reality, that means you're putting everyone else above you. Do you do that? Do you put everyone else on a pedestal and you're down here and you're looking up at everybody else like, oh my God, I wish I could do this, and treating everyone better than you treat yourself? The Marilyn Monroe energy is that star energy, knowing I can have whatever I want if I just do this. What is the this for you? How do you turn on the this part of you to get whatever it is that you want? If you want the right job, if you want the right relationship, if you want the right home, whatever it is, how do you turn on the Marilyn Monroe energy within yourself? Because we all have the ability to do it. I know how to do that because I was an entertainer my entire life. I could be absolutely miserable off stage, but as soon as I felt the light hit any part of my body, I was a completely different person. That is knowing how to turn on the Marilyn Monroe energy. And we can do that on the stage of life every single day. You might be absolutely miserable in your home, but the second that you walk out onto the stage of life, you can turn your energy into something else, whether it's energy of gratitude, whether it's energy of happiness, energy of joy, energy of knowing that you're going to have whatever you want today. I woke up today and I said, I'm Krystal, and only good things happen to me. Someone sent me a DM and said, after I listened to your live about only good things happen to me, my friend randomly sent me $200 for no reason. Just things like that, just small things like that, that we all have the capability to do. And that's turning on what I love to call as the Marilyn Monroe energy. walking onto the stage of life with that type of energy, knowing I get whatever I want. I'm always recognized wherever I go. Whatever it is that you are trying to bring to yourself, can you turn that on so that you can get the things that you want? Marilyn Monroe had something so different than other people. And because of that, she's the most iconic, or at least one of the most iconic people to ever be on earth. What was it about her? I mean, obviously she was stunningly beautiful, but there was something about her that made her who she is, because there's plenty of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women in the world. But what sets one apart from the other is the energy that emanates from you, from me, from them, from whomever. Benny says, turn on being grateful before you have what you want. Turn on the energy of gratitude, and the universe will send you more reasons to be grateful. How can you master that type of energy? There were times when Marilyn Monroe said, I can't let the camera see me today. Why did she say that? Because the camera doesn't miss anything. It picks up on everything. If her energy wasn't good, if she didn't feel beautiful, the camera would pick up something about her that she felt would not make her look beautiful. So, it's not just being about the center of attention or recognition. The Marilyn Monroe energy is more than about looks or being recognized. It's the way that you feel about yourself, so that you could bring all the things that you want to yourself in your life. And you're just like, I am a superstar of my life. And that doesn't mean being the center of attention. It just means I know that I'm the superstar, and superstars get whatever they want. So it's about that energy of knowing I can have whatever I want. It doesn't mean about your looks, doesn't mean about beauty, it doesn't mean about anything like that, about superstardom. It's about utilizing that superstar energy, because it's a knowingness. I'm going to walk out onto the stage of life, and I know that I'm going to get whatever I want. Everyone gives me anything that I want. And that, again, it doesn't have anything to do with attention or anything. It's a knowingness within ourselves of how do we master this type of energy, so that I can show up for myself every day with this type of masterful energy, conscious creation, so that I know that my day is going to unfold perfectly today. My day is going to unfold perfectly today. How do we do that? It is within ourselves of how we master this. I'm going to read today from How to Use the Laws of Mind. And this is about being born to win, like we're just talking about. You're born to win. You're not born to lose. Regardless of your circumstances, regardless of how you grew up, you're not born to lose. We're all born to win. But again, it's that belief. Do I believe that I'm born to win? Do I believe that I can win? Do I believe that I can have all the things that I want? How do I get back to my confident self? Or if I've never been confident, how do I become confident? It's doing healing work. It's knowing that the things that you were taught about yourself were a lie from other people. We allowed other people to smear whatever color paint they wanted on our artwork, instead of us painting our own picture of how we want our life to look. There are a great many people who work very hard, but they nevertheless fail in life. The reason is that they have a subconscious pattern of failure, or they believe that they should fail. Sometimes they think a jinx is following them. They feel inferior. Perhaps they were told when they were young, you'll never amount to anything. You are stupid and you are dumb. These thoughts were accepted by their impressionable mind, and now these thoughts have a life of their own in the subconscious mind and are experienced by them. The crazy part is all we need is one person to say something negative like that. Some people will always tell a story like about their teacher that said, oh, you'll never amount to anything. And they worked so hard their entire life to prove that they would be something. Or the opposite happened and their teacher said, you'll never amount to anything. And maybe they turned to drugs. Maybe they have a life that they hate because that person said you'll never amount to anything and they believed it. That is a subconscious programming that will literally drive the car on the journey of the rest of your life if you allow it to. That's why it's so important to reprogram the subconscious mind. I heard about something really, really, really sad over the weekend. And this person was in and out of jail their whole life. Had such a big heart. Had a big and beautiful heart, would do anything for anyone. But their upbringing, they didn't have a father. Their mother was on and off drugs. Lived with their grandmother. And just never had true guidance. The streets were his guidance. He was always in trouble all the time. But he had a heart that would just love and love and love. But he was always in trouble. He was always doing bad things. And that all comes from programming. When you don't have someone or a family system that is guiding you or helping you to flourish, and all you know is like basically being raised on the streets. You're following the people that maybe you look up to. Maybe you look up to somebody that sells drugs. You know, people that are doing things that are not high vibrational. And you live this very low vibrational life and you just don't know how to get out of it because you are programmed to believe that life is just hard. And when you believe life is just hard, life will always give you things that prove that life is just hard. So this person ended up in a really unfortunate situation and he ended up killing someone because of his drug addiction. So now this person is going to be in prison probably for the rest of his life because of the programming that maybe he wasn't good enough, that life is just too hard for me to face reality, so I need to escape it with drugs. All those things are just programs in life. And going to rehab and doing all these things, it's a way to somewhat reprogram the mind. But a lot of time there's not necessarily that much healing or getting rid of the energy, the stuck energy within us that keeps us with that program. Because if we don't heal ourselves from the energy, it's really difficult to reprogram the mind. It's not impossible, but it is difficult to reprogram the mind. So if you know people, someone that's always in trouble all the time, or that's always had a hard life, or that keeps manifesting without knowing, bad things to happen constantly. Their car broke down. They have a flat tire again. Someone broke their window. Like it just seems like there's always something bad happening all the time. That's just a way for you to view what their programming is, that they expect bad things to happen. Life is always difficult. I never have any luck in life. I hate my job. I can never find a job that I like. That is us manifesting our destiny. Anything that comes out of our mouth is manifesting. Any thoughts that we're constantly ruminating and thinking about is what manifests into reality, because it's just an energy that finds a like energy. Man can change his life. These subconscious or irrational impulses act long after the events which caused them have been forgotten. Man can feed the subconscious mind with something new. He can say, I'm born to succeed. The infinite cannot fail. He can feed his subconscious life-giving patterns such as divine law and order govern my life. Divine peace fills my soul. Divine love saturates my mind. Divine right action reigns supreme. Infinite intelligence guides me and directs me in all my ways. It is a lamp onto my feet and a light upon my path. So we can see how these words can truly shape your life. Divine law and order govern my life. When many people see it as, or see life as, every day something bad happens. Every day. What else can happen that's bad? You know, when you hear people say these things, and maybe they're saying it sarcastically, but realistically, that's where their subconscious mind lives, is that I am unlucky. Nothing good happens to me in life. I never have good relationships. I always attract the wrong person. Why is this always happening to me? God, why do you do this to me? You've seen and heard people say these things, not understanding that we are bringing these things to ourselves. How do you explain a person that has hit rock bottom, that now is the most happy and successful person on earth? How do you explain that? It's not luck, it's hard work. It's rewiring the mind. It's rewiring the mind, because we can change ourselves at any moment of any day. Even if something bad happens to you that day, you have the choice of whether you are going to allow that to unfold, the rest of your day or weeks or months, because something happened to you that wasn't favorable to you. Or you can say, what am I learning here? What is the lesson here? Okay, moving on. I'm not going to allow this to affect me anymore. I'm not going to allow this to change my energy anymore. Because if we don't allow anything to change our energy anymore, it loses its power. But if we still continue to ruminate a lot, with this person said this to me, and it repeats over and over and over again, you're going to continue to attract those like scenarios. Even though you hate it, you don't ever want to feel this way ever again. But you are experiencing it because you continue to ruminate over and over and over again the same exact sentences, vibration, whatever it is. When you are angry, suspicious, or full of fear, these emotions are negative and destructive. They snarl up in the subconscious mind, and they cause you to do the wrong thing and to say the wrong thing. When you want to be happy, you're sad. When you want to do the right thing, you do the wrong thing. This is true when you are under the sway of negative and destructive emotions, for very likely whatever you do then will be wrong, or will be wrong. So we're reading from How to Use the Laws of Mind by Joseph Murphy, because that's my man. I was listening to Bob Proctor yesterday. Whenever I'm in the car, I like to listen to Bob Proctor podcasts, Neville Goddard podcasts, because I want to constantly be training my mind to be in a certain vibration, to be in a certain energy, so that whenever I go out into the world, wherever I'm out into the world, I can use that and utilize that. And Bob Proctor said, if you do not have the Power of the Subconscious Mind book by Joseph Murphy, your library is not complete. That is one of the greatest books that you can ever read when it comes to the subconscious mind. And I thought that for a long time, and then I was listening to Bob Proctor, and he also said it. So I was like, if Bob is saying it, then I'm listening. But again, that was one of my favorite books, and I've always recommended that for anybody that asks, what's a great way to get started, and it's that book. Because again, we don't know how to use or understand the subconscious. And when we finally do understand how to use the subconscious mind, your life shifts dramatically. Because that is our supercomputer. And when we understand how to do that, it's a way to manipulate energy. So if any time you are in a rotten space, you're allowing yourself to think about these things over and over and over again, one of two things will happen. That very scenario will manifest into your three-dimensional reality, or you stop yourself and you say, let's change that thought, because I'm the creator of my reality. And a lot of times when you do this work, sometimes you get stuck and you don't even realize that you're stuck until you've been thinking about this thought for several days, and you're like, why am I doing this? I know better than this. I know that I'm the creator of my reality. But sometimes our subconscious programming is so overpowering that you even forget that you're thinking that thought until that thought actually manifests. So being intentional with our thoughts, being intentional with our words is everything. That is being a conscious creator. Bob Proctor was saying that most people constitute thinking with just mental noise. He says that thinking is being intentional with your thought. But a lot of times, most of our day is not intentional thinking. It's just all this noise. It just automatically happens. What we want to get to is the point where our thoughts are the thoughts that we want to happen. Our thoughts are automatically, my day is going great today. My day is going to be amazing today. Instead of, oh, I can't believe I have to pay this bill. Oh my God, I have to buy so many presents for people. I don't have the money for this. Why is this person not talking to me? I can't believe this is going on. That's just mental noise. That's not intentional thinking. That's not conscious creating. Being a conscious creator is a lifestyle because we're not used to thinking intentionally. And when we finally do, your life begins to change drastically. And you're like, shit, all this time has gone by and I haven't been, intentionally creating things. That happens to me. As much as I read about this stuff and as much as I do this work, there's times when it's like, you just get tired and you're like, ugh. And you just allow your mind to just go where it wants to go. And then you have results that you don't want to have. And you're like, well, you haven't been consciously creating. So what do you think is going to happen? All the things that the mind noise have been talking about amongst themselves up there. When we allow our mind to run free, we are often then caught chasing after all of those thoughts. You're like, no, I didn't want you to get away. And all of a sudden, like, your reality is just like crazy because you haven't been paying attention to your own mind. You've just been allowing it to run free. It's like having a room full of puppies. You just let them do whatever they want. One's chewing on a wire. The other one is eating your shoes. And you're constantly chasing after these puppies like, oh my God, these puppies just won't stay still, but you don't have them in a cage. So how do you expect the puppies to stay still when you don't have these puppies in a cage? They're going to run wild. And it's the same exact thing with our thoughts. If we allow our thoughts to run wild, they're going to do whatever they want. They're going to create whatever it wants, whatever they want. And all of a sudden, these crazy thoughts are making a mess of your life. And you're like, what is going on? You didn't put those thoughts in a cage. So all of you stay here. And I'm going to be doing my work over here. I'm going to be conscious creating here. All the crazy thoughts, I'm going to tie you up in a bow and you're going to stay here and you're going to sit still and you're not going to move. I'm going to be over here consciously creating. Same thing with the puppies. If they're not in a cage, they're running wild all over the house. They're terrorizing your entire life. Same thing with your thoughts. If you allow your thoughts to terrorize you every single day, your life is going to reflect that. So how are we going to change it? By consciously creating. What thoughts am I going to have today? I'm going to think about all the things that I see in my mind. I am going to see them all day long. I'm going to meditate on them. I'm going to consciously write down all the things that I already have in my mind so that they come to pass in my three-dimensional world. What is it that you want? Get clear on what you want in your reality so that you can write it down with that clarity. And then you can do your meditations. The most important time is as you're falling asleep or as you're waking up, thinking about that. I started drawing what I want to manifest, game changer. Make it real, make it personal, make it your own. A lot of times they say to write things in your own handwriting because it's coming from you. Writing it, typing it on a screen and seeing it is totally different than actually writing it down with a pen. Taking the time to make it personal. Taking the time to write those words with your own energetic stamp. Because as you're writing the words, you're seeing the things that you want. So you're putting energy onto that paper. Read it 1 to 3 times a day. That can be our homework. Getting very clear and intentional with the things that we want. Writing them down. And then reading them several times a day. What is it that I want? What is this reminder that I need? Exactly, Mayor. It's on a cellular level. Our handwriting is our imprint. And it's crazy, too, that they've taken away even writing with a pen. Everything that makes us unique has been stolen and transformed into technology. So think about that. Having conversations in real life is now text messaging through a phone. When you go out today, observe how many people are looking down at their phone while they're walking. Human interaction is almost non-existent. People don't even know how to interact with other human beings on this earth. Kids don't even learn how to write in school anymore. They don't learn how to write in cursive. My nephew's going to be 21. Like, Luch, do you know how to write in cursive? He's like, what's that? I said, what? He's like, what? I said, you didn't learn in school how to write in cursive? He's like, what is that? So everything that makes us, us, is being completely changed into this transhumanism agenda. Everything is being transferred into this cell phone. Our personality is in the cell phone. How we speak and engage with people is in our cell phones. Writing things down is in our cell phone or computer. Because it's taking away all of our power. Our cell phones are taking away all of our power. It's all energy. Our cell phones run on energy, but it's taking our energy, our energetic print. Instead of us projecting our energetic print into the world, even though we're still doing that, so much of it has been taken away with technology. And it is all for a greater purpose. It's not that it is not on purpose. Everything is for a reason. And it's to disempower the human spirit, the human soul, the human mind. Because as long as we're distracted, as long as we're disempowered, we're not going to fight back. We're going to continue to get further and further away from who we truly are. My cell phone gives me power. You can look at it that way. You can look at it that way if you'd like. But it's really taken away your power. As much as maybe we make money through our cell phones, as much as, whatever it is that we get through this, we're able to do this right now. But realistically, how much better would it be to do this in person? To do this live? So I can look at each and every person that I'm speaking to. But again, it's all for a greater reason. It's all for a grander purpose. And that's to disempower humans so that we can continue to be slaves. And this way of thinking is what will free you from this system. Is high love. Is taking your power back. Realizing how when you start to be able to draw into things, I'm not going to say you start to manifest. Manifest is just a cliche word. When you start to draw in with your energy the things that you truly want, you're going to realize, damn, I'm that powerful. And from that day forward, hopefully for the rest of your life, you will realize, I can change the circumstances that I don't like. And I'm going to. And that amount of power, to have that amount of power, is unlike anything you'll ever experience in life. Because you then know that you're the writer, you're the director, you're the star of your movie in your life. And nobody else is. Not the church that you go to, not the doctor that tells you have 5 months to live. No one is the superstar, writer, director, actor of your reality except for you. When we do realize that, we understand I had it wrong all along. And I had the power within me all along. That's what's truly incredible. Truth sets you free. The minute you cast out from your mind the idea of any other power but the one, your false concept of God will fall from the throne of your mind. And you will realize that when you use the power constructively, it is called God, which brings health and happiness into your life. When you use the power negatively and ignorantly, it is called the devil, which brings misery, lack, and suffering into your experience. Ignorance is also called the devil, which is a negation of life. God, the Creator, is the truth. I don't add anybody on my Mondays. So when you living from truth or living from harmony is essentially living from God. God created everything in perfect harmony. We are the ones that create the disharmony. The book is How to Use the Laws of Mind by Joseph Murphy. We are the ones that came to earth and have created disharmony. The animals can live harmoniously. Nature can live harmoniously. What cannot live harmoniously is humans. So if living in truth is living in God's truth, which is harmony, how many people can say that they're living in harmony in their life? Probably maybe not one person can say, I'm living in harmony in life. Maybe there's some people that have certain areas of their life that they feel are living harmoniously. But everything that God created was in truth. Ben, I knew you were going to say that. Was in harmony. The way that He created the trees. The way that He created animals. The way that He created everything. Was in harmony and resonance with everything else. We came here and fucked it all up. But we have the ability to go back to what the truth is, which is harmony. And when we're in harmony with ourselves, we can create anything. Yes, Benny, that is correct. So do you want to live in harmony with the rest of the things on earth? Because when we get to that place of harmony, that energy spreads quickly to other people. Because people are going to want what you have. Not in a jealous way, but just be like, wow, that person has amazing energy. When you meet somebody, or when someone walks into the room, you're like, wow, that person's got great energy. Like my mother, her favorite holiday is Christmas. And she has the antlers on her car. She has like some kind of convertible Mercedes. I don't know what it is. But she has the Rudolph nose on the front of her car, the antlers coming out of the windows, and I think there's like, in the back of her car, she has like Santa's feet hanging out of the trunk. And she wears these jingle bell bracelets, and she walks into this store, and she's jingling because she's walking with the bracelet on. And this guy was like, oh my God, you have the most amazing Christmas spirit. And she's like, you have to see my car. So the guy goes outside to see her car. He's like, wow. He's like, wow, you're amazing. Like, you have such great spirit, like a great Christmas spirit. And that energy is contagious. Our energy is contagious. So my mom lives in harmony with the Christmas spirit. I can't say that she lives in harmony with everything else, but her energy is contagious. When, she walks into a room, people will notice her because my mom has high energy. She has a lot of angry energy, but she also has a lot of high energy. And my mom has the Marilyn Monroe energy. She knows how to turn it on. She knows how to turn it on, and that's where I get it from with her. I know how to turn on the Marilyn Monroe energy because of her. So it's just to say that we are able to manipulate so many other people's energy by the way that our energy is. If you're miserable and you walk into the coffee shop and you're just not nice to the person behind the register, you're not nice to anybody, your energy is felt by everyone else. Yes, Joe. What's the Marilyn Monroe energy? Okay, so for those of you that weren't here in the beginning, we were talking about the Marilyn Monroe energy and how she was able to turn her superstar energy on and off. She knew how to do it. And I was saying, like, as someone that's been in entertainment, I know how to do it. I can be absolutely miserable off stage. The second I hit the stage, I am a completely different person. How do we utilize that type of energy on the stage of life? That's the Marilyn Monroe energy, knowing how to turn your energy on. She was walking down the street in New York. This was earlier. Marilyn Monroe was walking down the street in New York City. Nobody recognized her, and the person next to her they were having a conversation. She said, I'm going to become her. Watch this. And a second later, she turned on that magnetic Marilyn Monroe energy, and all of a sudden, people recognized that it was Marilyn Monroe. They were coming up to her. I want to take a picture and can I have an autograph and all these things. That's the Marilyn Monroe energy. How do you turn on the Marilyn Monroe energy of your life so you become the star? And it's not about recognition. I was explaining this to somebody earlier. It's not about being a superstar where everybody knows who you are. It's about being the superstar of your own life, just knowing, I get whatever I want. Marilyn Monroe knew that when she turned that energy on, she could have whatever she wanted. She could have whatever she wanted. She could just blink her eyes and someone was getting her whatever she wanted. That's the Marilyn Monroe energy. The knowingness that I can have whatever I want in my reality. I get whatever I want in my reality. That's the Marilyn Monroe energy. How can you tap into the energy of your superstarness? And again, it's not about people knowing who you are and recognizing your face. It's about you recognizing that you're the superstar of your reality. You're the writer. You're the director. You're the star of the movie. You're the producer. So you can change and manipulate anything you want to in your reality because your energy can do that. Your energy has the power to do that. And I was saying how there were some days Marilyn Monroe would say, I can't let the camera see me today. Why do you think that she said that? Because energy doesn't lie. So she knew enough about energy to know, I can't let the camera see me today. There were days where she was supposed to film something. She's like, I can't let the camera see me today. Because she wasn't right up here. And she was crazy. Marilyn Monroe was crazy. She had a crazy childhood. She was going through the adoption system, and then she had a lot of different things that happened to her. And she was crazy, and she knew it, but she also knew how to manipulate energy. And that's all that manifestation is learning how to manipulate energy so that you can change and become whatever that you want. I just want to be able to cancel my day like that sometimes. I do cancel my days like that sometimes. And some days we need that. Some days it's just like we just can't turn that on because we're human. But the more we become in harmony with our surroundings, the easier it is to manifest things. When you are in disharmony with yourself, you're blocking yourself. So if you're blocking your own energy, that means you're blocking your own blessings. Maybe we start calling manifesting alchemizing instead. But that's what it is. Manifesting is just a stupid word. I actually don't like it. But in order for people to know what the hell I'm talking about, manifesting is just the most recognizable word for, hey, I want to bring this to me. So it just all depends on what you want to call it. But it is alchemizing because it is changing and transforming energy. It is a way better word. But sometimes when you use certain words, people feel a certain way. But even using the word manifesting, like there are people in like the spiritual community that use the word manifesting, and it's just so annoying because they just are so weird. No offense, but whatever. But we can call it what we want to call it as long as we just understand that we're manipulating energy, conjuring energy. I want to make things as least weird as possible so that it's understandable for everyone. They're so cringy, she said. If you want to know how to manipulate energy, go watch all my lives, because that's all that I talk about. Everyone has a dark cloud above their heads. If you have the belief that everyone has a dark cloud above their heads, that is what will manifest. My mom used to say, there's just always a dark cloud following me everywhere. She would say it with more words and more anger than that, but I would say, Mom, how do you think your life can get any better if you constantly say that there's a dark cloud following you? I mean, let's just be real here. Your words are your wand. So, that is the conclusion of today, is mastering the Marilyn Monroe energy. Think about that. Think about that. Have a beautiful Christmas, too. Oh, my God. Yeah, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Have a beautiful holiday, and I'll see you guys at the end of the week. I love you. Sometimes she is, sometimes she isn't, Joe. I love you all and have the most beautiful, beautiful day. Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys in a few days.